occasion, we're still glad that we're able to come together. My name is JoJo with Star 94.5. We've got our Star 94.5 family here, past and present, but family is family regardless, always and forever. And we also have our brother Robert Morgan family here as well. This is an idea that they had, and they reached out to us. They wanted to do a balloon release, and so we said, well, why don't we do it here at Star 94.5 and just kind of make it an unofficial ceremony, if you will, since we were not able to come together and do a memorial like we'd like to do. So they wanted to do this as family. So we're honored that they asked us to be a part of it, and we thank you all for being here. We've also asked the Orlando Times, Jimmy and Diane Williams are here with the Orlando Times. They're going to do a story on it, and they're going to get some shots and photos and stuff, so you will have possibly your photo taken and possibly published in the Times. If you have a problem, see that man right there with the yellow bag. Don't pay by a picture, people looking for me, or something like that. But just to let you know. At this point, since it was a family idea to do a balloon release today, we're going to turn it over to Robert Morgan III. So y'all show him some love.
I am. Good morning.
Great morning. Good morning.
If I look like him, I am Robert Morgan III. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. This is my brother Maurice walking up as well. I love brother Maurice Morgan. And I'm thankful for y'all and all the time that y'all spent with him and time we spent with y'all. We grew up together. Y'all know him as well as I know him. Gentle Giant. I don't have much to say. I'm just thankful. And I'm gonna let my auntie, this is my aunt Phyllis Washington.
Hey, I'm
She's good with the word, so we're gonna take a time and she's gonna say a prayer to really get us started, and then we'll go from there.
One thing I just want to say first is like, even though we're in a pandemic, it's just like Robert. He was very quiet. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. He didn't curse. And it's during this time, like they said it on Zoom. It's like they were talking. Trey was talking to the radio host on a Zoom one day, and one of them said, "It's just like Robert, that he didn't want any attention for him to be able to have it during this time where we couldn't have a big funeral to make a big to-do about him." And that is so true about him. We want to thank you all for coming out today. And I just want to say a quick prayer, and we do what we do and be on our way with our hearts clear. Oh, merciful and everlasting Father, we thank you for bringing us safely here for this time. Lord, we just thank you for the time that you allowed us to spend with Robert. I ask that you give his sons and his family, his loved ones, strength, be the wind beneath their wings, carrying them through these times. We just thank you for the friends that showed up, family, for those who have prayed, all the thoughts that they've sent, encouraging words, and we just thank you for it now, Lord. As we release these balloons, Lord, it's not that we forget them, but we release them unto you. And we just ask that we take something from his life that will make us better as we go about our way. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. If everyone would like to, wasn't sure how many people we had, but
Before we do that, can I ask one thing? If you want to say anything about what you knew about Robert, like Robert, some of you didn't know he was born in Pensacola. He played football in Pensacola. Even though he was quiet, I recently found out that he was like, I think, the president of his high school class. And before we take a drink or a toast to him, if you want to say anything that we may not know about him, or like AC played football with him at University of Florida. So if you just want to say any kind of word about him or him, whatever, then at this time, go ahead.
Yeah, I would. Not only was Robert my teammate, but he was my roommate. And he was the best man in my wedding. He introduced me to my wife because my wife, Shirley, and Robert went to high school together at Pensacola High School in Pensacola, Florida. And so I have a special connection with Robert and this ex-wife, Linda. I call her my real roommate because my freshman year at University of Florida, she dated my freshman roommate. He left to go to FAMU, and my sophomore year, Robert became my roommate, and she started dating Robert. So for the next 3 years, she was my roommate. For 4 solid years, she was the girlfriend of my roommate. But Robert and I go way back to 1973 when we both were freshmen at the University of Florida. Roommates, teammates, love him to death. Trey, love him to death. And when you all, anything I can ever do for you, I'm family. Please let me know. Thank you. Thank you.
So I would like to say something. I'm Monica, and Robert was my ride or die. Anytime I needed Robert to fill in, I got you. Anytime when I didn't know I needed to take time off, he would call me and say, why don't you do so and so and so? When I tell you that since I left the station in December, this man has called me every week. Every single week. But even when I was working, just calling to check on us. And I think each one of us could say that they had a recent phone call from him. So it was so amazing when AC called me to tell me that it just took everybody by surprise. You know, Robert is gonna be remembered for his gentle spirit, for his just being a brother that you could ask anything of, and he was right there for you. Someone who showed me how to work that Tom Joyner morning show thing, and showed it to me. It was like, now you're on your own. Who is it? You. That said we all first worked together. We were on the radio, and you wouldn't say anything, and Robert was like, man, you gotta talk, man. This is Stacy D.
Yeah, Robert's one of the first people actually, the first radio job I'd ever had coming out of the military. I was an Air Force, got out of the Air Force, and was fishing around jobs and ran up on a part-time position at my FM, 94.5. Sure, Trey, you remember my FM? Yeah, that was the first job I had. That's when I came in contact with Robert. And me and Robert been friends ever since. Robert showed me the ropes around radio. So I'm gonna miss it because he actually called me a couple of weeks before he passed. And we talked.
One other quick thing, I don't know if you know Robert's nickname. Robert's nickname was Cookatoo. That's Robert II. His father was a DJ in Pensacola, and his DJ name was Kuka Morgan. And so Robert became Cookatoo. And now I just got him Kuka Threat.
Well, I'm Bruce Bebus, and me and Robert go all the way back to 102 Jam. I mean, when we first started everything together, he and I shared the Quiet Storm as I was put in place to separate the overnight from Joe Nasty. For some reason, he had a little problem getting together with the overnight girl. So I came in, and then we went from there to Lake Mary, to everyone came to Longwood. I mean, and me and Robert have been, we talked more than a lot of people thought. I didn't realize how much we talked until he wasn't here. And then we had this conversation. Yeah, then we had this conversation, and when I got the call, I mean, I was done. Okay, I was done for the whole next 2-3 days. I had no conversation with nobody. There was nothing I could say. There was nowhere I could go because we've had this that much time together. So, as my friend over here, my co-worker says, I'm gonna miss it big time already. This is when I first got involved. Special man, very special, very special.
Y'all come from good stock, my mom used to say.
I'll say, oh, sorry. That's okay. Aaron, Hollywood Day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just reminiscing. As a matter of fact, Kyle can attest to this because it would be at this time on a Saturday.
Yes.
And I'd come in, I'd get here about an hour prior to going on the air. But I remember Robert calling me when I first got here in Oklahoma. And he called the hotline. This on this other end. Because I met Box, and I'm going, this ain't Box. And then it's Mr. Morgan. Oh, okay. got to hook up. And ever since that conversation in '04, Robert and I have talked every week. I mean, literally, every week. He hollered, you know, we know some people that were, we figure out folks that we did know, we had a great relationship. But once again, like I stated on a Saturday, he would get off the air, and I would be on the air, and we'd sit for about an hour and a half. Robert would just hang out, and we would talk about everything. He said, well, I guess I'll go ahead and get ready to hit this road. I said, all right, brother, you know, safe journeys. And I guess that's the most meaning impression and expression that I could give to him now. Safe journeys. No more pain. He's definitely in a better spot. And heaven now has really gotten a big problem.
I was gonna have the Star family do their, share their thoughts first, and then I was gonna have his band end up on, just kind of put the wraps on it. So we have family members here, Liz, Jerry B, what's the name that's the best one?
I will. There's a lot of people who can sit at the microphone. There are very few who can do it effectively and with longevity. I think 10 a.m. was very significant for us because that was the time, whether Robert was filling in on the morning show or working on Saturday, 10 a.m. was the time he signed off. So I just want to say, well, one thing I remember as a production director, you're not only production director, but you're also sometimes therapist for the air staff as well. And you know, there are times when Robert would fill in during the weekday. Of course, before he would leave, he would come and sit in the production studio. We would talk. Or on Saturday, when I would have to fill in for midday, and he would sit there as he done with everyone and just talk. And never short of conversation, never short of knowledge or wisdom. So I just want to say, job well done, man. Job well done.
I just want to second that because we went through the same thing, you know, being a production director as well. And like I said, the first thing that I said was he was that gentle giant, and you know, we'll always remember.
Got more Star family, Niecy,
Yes,
Kyle,
indeed.
Marvin.
So I'm Niecy D, and I just wanted to share, being the mixed DJ, I'm kind of in and out all the time. But I've caught Robert Morgan on the board, you know, holding it down for all the on-air personalities. And again, he was just always such a pleasant person, down to earth, always something kind to say. And I'll definitely miss that. I didn't have as much interaction with him as all of the other on-air personalities, but definitely you're gonna miss that spirit, that energy, because he was such a positive person. And that's something that I appreciate. I kind of gravitate to the light. So, you know, I just want to give my condolences and my prayers, and know that he'll definitely be a part of our hearts indefinitely.
Yeah, I'm Marvin Nelson, producer here at Star 94.5. I've known Robert for probably about 10 years, and we've shared great conversations about radio, about life, about sports, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Florida Gators. He's definitely going to be missed, and we love you, brother.
DJ Kyle LaRue.
Hey y'all, I'm Kyle LaRue. I'm actually on the air right now.
How you doing that?
So in a lot, very much to what Hollywood was saying. I'm now the person that Robert would hand off to on Saturdays. So I got to tell you, you know, even a few weeks removed, it's still very empty to come in on Saturday mornings and Robert not be there. You know, because he'll be the first person I see when I come into the studio. And, you know, many a weeks we would just sit in there, and long after he's done, you know, we would just sit there and chop it up. And we talk about an encyclopedia of knowledge. You know, I've been here in Orlando for 20 years, but I mean, I've been, you know, schooled on radio and the history of this market. And so much of that has come from, you know, just our conversations and, you know, what he's been through and, you know, the people that he's known and the people that we've connected with. And, you know, that story about him jumping over the fence when 102 Jams was up in Lake Mary, I will take that with me for the rest of my life. Some of y'all know that story, when he was doing the Quiet Storm. That's a classic, you know, but stuff like that, you know, I'll take that with me forever. A true gentleman, I mean, just a gentle giant, you know, I'll miss that. You know, I'll take those stories with me forever. He will be missed. You know, the sports, the coming in watching, you know, looking at him watching those old westerns.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't get that part, but okay, I'll roll with it. That's cool too. But you know, I love that brother, and he's definitely going to be missed. So, you know, to still come in on Saturdays and see the chair empty, it still hurts. I'll be honest with you, but I know he's in a better place. So, peace and love.
So collectively, along with Uncle AC, there's a couple of $100 in here for you guys to split. We just wanted to share our condolences with you both, all right? Not much, but it's some.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I wanted to actually repeat everything that everybody just said and agree with everything that everybody just said. Robert was one of those where when he was filling in for Monica, I would get to see him. And so it was a special time when I come in there and see him. The thing is, there are times when he could have very well left after his shift was done. But if I was just a couple minutes before 10, he could have been long gone if he wanted to. But if I came in there, he was sitting over on the other side of the room. He's not in front of the board, but he's like, I'm done. But he's sitting on the other side of the room, waiting for me to get there so we can chat. But that's just how he was. He's just an amazing man. I don't think that I have ever met a more humble radio personality. I don't think I have. He is not one who wanted to be, and not that most of us really don't want to be in that spotlight, but we're pushed into it. But Robert is one that he just really did not seek that attention. He just wanted to do his radio thing and help people in his own way. And he'll forever be remembered for that and so much more. The family, if you don't need Star for anything, we're always family. We're always here. We're working to have his name put into the Star studio once they do some remodeling. We want him to forever be a part of the Star family, as he always will. And we want to have his name in that studio somewhere when they do that remodeling, so that he can continue on with us in spirit. So thank you all for being here.
At first, I was telling people he had a heart attack, but when I talked to the medical examiner, he told me that he had a pulmonary embolism, and I'm a nurse, and what that is like a clot broke off and blocked his lungs. And so even when they were giving him CPR, they couldn't revive him because of the blockage. And last thing I want to say is that Mr. AC is the president, CEO, HNIC, whatever, over at McCoy Federal Credit Union. So if you guys need anything during this pandemic, he's the man to see.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
I will also add that he's been a very strong supporter of this radio station for years through Star Cares. So,
Pam was down here.
I'm here just to celebrate Robert. And you know, sometimes God put people in your life just for a season. Yeah. And he did that for me. For 13 years we were together and we birthed that young man up there. Mm-hmm. And he actually named Maurice, and it's just exciting to be here to celebrate that young man, because when we got together, I was sharing a story with Monica, and it was a story. It was a story, and it was a story because when when we got together, we were introduced by a young lady. At that time, I was 26 years old, and Robert was 37 years old. But in the mix, it's gonna make you laugh. It made us laugh a little later. But the young lady said to me, she said, "Oh, he's 30." And she told Robert, "Oh, she's 30." So in reality, we both thought that we were kind of in that same age group, but we really were not. So when we really actually ended up meeting one another, we talked for a while. We had good times. But when we first saw each other, one of the things we said before we saw each other, that if you don't like the way I look, then we can separate. We don't have to be together at all. But we enjoyed each other's company, and we ended up starting dating. But even though we dated for 13 years, God did not have him to be my man. And that was okay with both of us. We were great friends. He could call me anytime about Maurice. He could call me anytime about Robert. That's the kind of man he was. He was a great, great father to both of those. And that was one of the reasons why I really started liking Robert more than anything, because when he was not with Linda anymore, but raising Trey, one of the things that he did so well is that he coached the boys' baseball teams, and he would be out there with him. And when you see a man who actually can spend time with their sons, that's the kind of man you want to spend some time with. But again, he was not my man. He was not for me, because God sent me another man later on in years in life. But Robert celebrated me being able to be married. He celebrated the fact of our lifehood. And I just could not be here and not celebrate the young man who celebrated the love that we had and bringing in Maurice Lamar Morgan. And so he was able to be with him when he graduated from Florida A&M University. He was able to be with him when he was growing up. So even though he might not be with you guys when you marry, because I'm praying that you marry, even though he might not be here when you are married, he will be here in spirit with you. So just continue to keep his legacy. I love hearing everything that's happened here at 94.5, but I will never forget him being over at 102 Jams. So every last one of you who spoke today, I've heard your names. I've never really seen your faces, but it's exciting to know the connection that you all have and the love that you have for Robert. But this young lady here is my champion. Because again, even in the whispers of days, she would tell me certain things that she didn't know that kept me moving forward. Like, for example, one day she said to me, "Robert told me what a sweet young lady you are, and you are a great mother." And even, you never know what people are thinking or saying about you, but just to hear it from somebody else is so important. And so Simone, when I was talking to Robert probably last year, and I asked him, I said, "How are you doing?" And he said, "I'm doing fine." And one of the things I always encourage him is to find someone nice. And so I don't know how long the relationship was, but he did, of course, share with me about you. So again, I celebrate whatever you all have is to be celebrated and know that he's here for you guys. So can I just ask you, what's your name? Edward. What's your relationship to Robert? I was a flower girl. All right. Who you? And I'm my cousin. Okay. Okay.
Cousin.
Okay. What's your name?
Ronald Hill.
Ronald Hill. Very nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Okay.
Hi, I'm Trisha. I was raised by Robert.
All right.
Wow.
Okay.
See?
Is that the wife?